So on the horizon this Sunday is a couple of our guys going back to the Arizona Cardinals and the state of Arizona. You have Kliff Kingsbury going back to the Cardinals, where he was formerly a head coach. Zach Ertz, formerly a player under Kliff Kingsbury, and QB1 Jaden Daniels going back to the state of Arizona, where he was at college, Arizona State at first before transferring to LSU. I said that to say there was a article that came out by Sam Fourier where he said the players find Kliff Kingsbury more likable and more warmer than Eric Bieniemy. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm going to be coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about Kliff Kingsbury being more likable for the players than Eric Bieniemy. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. On the road to 8,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it. So I was scrolling on Instagram and I came across JPA's post, and this is a little clip and mini excerpt from a report and article that he read where it said Commanders players found Kliff Kingsbury warmer and more collaborative than Eric Bieniemy, who devoted hours to film sessions and more notably did not let players wear their caps backwards. And this is from the article by Sam Fourier. As we know, we've been down that road where we talked about how Eric Bieniemy was as an offensive coordinator and how he was here in Washington. We got fooled. We got fooled by EB. We thought it was something that was going to come in here and be great for us, and it absolutely was a disaster. Then we later found out how he was with the players. Remember last year, players at training camp, they were crying and saying how it was too hard and he was doing too much, stuff like that. And then you had Sam Cosmi come out and say that he wouldn't let them wear their heads backward. A whole bunch of just crazy stuff with EB, man. And it just was a disaster. So I make this video to kind of not necessarily confirm that we're good in the sense of coaching staff, but just show how the players are just different. Show how the players are just much more happier. You know what I'm saying? Did you guys get a chance to check out the Mic'd Up by Brian Robinson? Go in the Mic'd Up by Brian Robinson if you haven't checked it out. And just look how the players are just more happy. Terry McLaurin hugging the lineman. Went up to Kliff Kingsbury and said, or B-Rob went up to Kliff Kingsbury and was like, he was basically thanking him and saying, hey, man, I told you I got you, man. He's like, keep calling it, keep calling it. And that's probably stuff that, B-Rob couldn't do last year. B-Rob was one of the guys who notably did not get along with Eric Bieniemy. Remember, B-Rob's production last year was probably at the lowest, and he was one of the ones that were affected the most by it. So you can only imagine how much he feels at the difference of this, how this team is. Sam Cosmi was recently on I think it's the Next Man Up podcast that the Washington Commanders have, and he was basically talking about how happy he was and how different it feels and how he feels like no one can mess with them. We have never said that. When have we ever said, hey, yeah, man, Washington, man, we so good on offense. Let's just say offense, for example, not even as a team, because we know we have hosts. But we're so good on offense that we don't feel like no one can mess with us. That's the attitude that Eric Bieniemy was supposed to bring to Washington because he's coming from Kansas City, and he didn't do it. He just wanted to be a hard coach, a guy that was going to get on you, a guy that was going to, hold you to this standard, this disciplinarian, acting like a drill sergeant in the army and the military, right? He wanted to be like that. And you got to understand, with these grown players, they're not going to be perceiving you as that. They're not going to be looking at you like you're in high school or college, because these are people that make millions of dollars. These are people that, if you're not winning, why would they continue to do what you're trying to say? He lost the players at one point last year. Like, it's cool when we started off 2-0 and the early stages of the issues with EB was that what happened in training camp, how they were practicing too hard. it's cool when you're winning. No one was complaining when you were winning. You were 2-0. But when you're losing and you continue to keep trying to do the same thing over and over again, it's gonna fall on deaf ears, especially for grown men, people that's making money off this. They're gonna be like, bro, why am I doing all this in practice? Why are we beating that out of each other in practice and we're losing by 40? Sam Howell, depressed last. You could just tell, like, he just looked so down at times, especially after the Seahawks game. Like, just looked down. The whole offense. Terry McLaurin saying, I'm running cardio. Like, it was just bad vibes last year. So you could just tell it's a complete shift. And obviously, Jaden Daniels had a major impact on that because of how talented he is. But Kliff Kingsbury is the perfect guy for this offense right now. I'm not saying Kliff Kingsbury is the best head coach. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with everything Kliff Kingsbury called, because I was highly critical of Kliff Kingsbury to start the year. But what I am saying is Kliff Kingsbury knows how to get along with people. That's why he's probably liked, in my opinion, because he doesn't come off as an a-hole. He doesn't come off as a guy that's going to discipline you in the wrong way or try to tell you what to do as if you're just some little kid. He's very likable. He's very friendly. And I know sometimes those aren't always the best case, because look at Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden was a friendly coach, but he was a head coach at a point in time. So maybe Kliff Kingsbury's attitude isn't necessarily meant to be a head coach. Maybe he's necessarily meant to be an offensive coordinator where all he has to do is worry about the offense and the quarterbacks. That's probably why he's thriving. But again, you could just tell the freedom that these guys have with Kliff. You could just see the relationship that they have. They love working for Kliff. They love coming every single day to work and, to try to get this thing going together. Jaden Daniels always speaking highly of Kliff Kingsbury. Kliff Kingsbury just seems always in a joyful and happy mood, man. And that's all we want as fans. So, and as players, they just want to be happy. They want to actually come to work and not feel dreaded like they have to. Eric Bieniemy, to me, was just we bought into the hype, and it was no hype there. What's also apparent to me, how we kept saying EB is a college coach. He's a college this, college that. Hey, check out that UCLA offense. How they doing? The last time I checked out UCLA offense this year, they were trash. So clearly, he's just not. I don't know if he's just not meant to be a coach or whatever. But he hasn't scored over 20 points with UCLA. So clearly, he was the problem. But again, to reiterate what this video is about, it's about how the players are liking Kliff Kingsbury and how he is as a coach opposed to Eric Bieniemy. And a lot of the guys that are new here in Washington is on the defensive side of the ball. So a lot of the returning guys dealt with Eric Bieniemy, Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson, Bieniemy Brown. The list goes on. How many people? Sam Cosmi, Cornelius Lucas. A lot of these guys are survivors of the Eric Bieniemy era, even though it was only for 1 year. So they can speak to how it just feels different, and you can see it. It's not like something that we don't see. You can clearly see the difference and the excitement level that it is here in Washington based off of how these coaches have been and how they coach. They coach like professionals. They coach like people that want to win, and they coach people with respect and dignity. And that's all you can really ask for as a player, if you ask me. So I'm excited. I love what Kliff Kingsbury's been doing. I love that the players love Kliff Kingsbury and how he's been moving. And I'm excited for Sunday, man. I want Kliff to go back to the desert and potentially get a good win versus the Arizona Cardinals. I want him to go back to there and stick it to him one last time, because if you hear what Cardinals fans are talking about us, they feel like we are a walkover. We are a pushover. We are a get-right game. They say Kliff Kingsbury is just trash. And obviously they have a different view on him because he was in a different role. He was in a much more important and serious role. But here in Washington, it's the total opposite at this point. We love what he's been bringing to the table. We love the game plan. We've been loving how he's been treating this offense, and he has been working with the young rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And again, he's a quarterback whisperer. It doesn't surprise me that he's able to touch the quarterback the way he does and touch this team the way he does, because he's an offensive mind and he's a quarterback himself. He played quarterback when he played ball. So again, it's always that special connection that former players have with new players, because they've been there, they've done that. And even more for Kliff Kingsbury, he's been through the shoes of a Jaden Daniels, so he knows how to always pull the right strings when it comes to coaching quarterbacks. He did it with JD. He did it with Pat Mahomes. He did it with Kyler Murray. And think about all these guys at every point in time. He had these guys at different points of their career. Obviously, Pat Mahomes in college. He had him playing at a high level. K1 playing at a high level, MVP level, rookie of the year also too. And also had him at an MVP level at one point. Kliff had Caleb Williams playing well at USC last year. Don't worry about the defense because that had nothing to do with it. But offensively, he had him playing out of his mind, and a lot of it was also Caleb Williams' ability to just be Houdini. And then now with Jaden Daniels, the success. It's no surprise that he's able to get the success out of these guys the way he does because he has a resume and track record that speaks volumes to it. Don't blink now, but don't be surprised if in 2 years, because his contract is up next year. We have him for 2 years. Let's say this season goes crazy. We win 11, 12 games. I know that sounds crazy still, but let's just say that happens, and the offense is obviously going to be the big reason why, because clearly the defense is trash right now. Don't be surprised if we look up and Kliff wants to get interviewed for a head coaching job. Or next season, after next season, he's getting interviewed for a head coaching job if this continues to keep up. So that's why I say we just got to enjoy the moment, because if we continue on the trajectory that we're headed, Kliff may not be around for too much longer. But there you have it, man. Let me know you guys thought this video in the comment section down below. As always, being boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Want to road to 8,000 subscribers, so I'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Don't forget to check out my promo code Juan Gotti on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. And have a blessed one. Stay safe, be easy. Peace.